wait and take it to the penalties and take their chances on the penalties. And it was magnificent to see. They must be very, very proud of what they've achieved tonight.
Let's have a look at the first penalty shootout of 2018. Starting with PK at 1-1. Hit the post, very accurate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great penalty in the end. When they go in off the post, it's a great penalty. But yeah, I mean, heart rate must have been through the roof as he saw it hit the post. But good penalty.
PK with a PK.
Nearly 39-year-old this guy is, centre half.
He hasn't lost his nerve with age, has
he never moved out of his position all afternoon, didn't he? And he stuck that away expertly well.
That was the first save, Koke, who...
Yeah, probably one of the worst penalties you can have, not in the middle, but on the side, halfway, too easy for the keeper.
Straight under De Gea, that one.
This was unlucky. The Russian penalties went straight, didn't they?
Yeah.
This is a great penalty.
Yeah, that's a good.
I don't like them type of run-ups, and when it goes in the back of the net, it looks lovely, doesn't it? I've got to be honest, as a centre-back, I won't often taking penalties at all, but I remember having to go up a couple of times. My legs were gone, like spaghetti legs. So what these guys must have been under in terms of pressure.
Imagine the pressure on the host nation.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't know whether they had a game plan to stick them all down the middle, but it's unusual.
This penalty of Cheryshev was big because Sergio Ramos, you could see that after he scored, he went to him because they were teammates before, and he said something to him. The pressure was big.
Yeah. And, well, no one wants to see any players suffer this. The deciding penalty that cost your nation. Incredible shot that, wasn't it? Iniesta looking the other way.
Yeah, and what a save.
What a save.
This is a great angle, this. Look.
Akinfeev again. Straight down the middle. Sticks his leg out. What scenes.
Do you know what is
incredible?
No matter how many times you practice these in training, you can't recreate that atmosphere, what you get in a stadium. You can all practice and practice, yeah, it's great, but that atmosphere that comes, the emotions walking up to a penalty like that, you can't get that on a training
Still
ground.
think you have to practice though, Rio, but we can argue about that some of the time. I think it makes a big difference. Cesti, I'm sorry we filmed you watching there.
Oh! Akinfeev! Wow!
I couldn't believe it, really.
Oh, I'm sorry to put you through. That wasn't my idea, Cest. But this is a different reaction from the fans in the Russian fan park just outside the stadium, actually, here in Moscow.
Wow.
And they're delirious, and well, they should be.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
no one gave this host nation a chance to get to the quarterfinals, realistically. Whew, magical stuff.
Incredible. Moscow will be very, very lively this evening.
It most certainly will. Akinfeev to save 2 penalties, and the Russian players as well. Bear in mind the pressure on them. Didn't miss 1 penalty.
Yeah, they all look confident going up there as well. But the goalkeeper, he made a good save in the end of the first half with Costa as well, and he looked solid. But you have to give credit to the way that this team was set up. The manager, you have to give him credit. He set his team up to nullify the way that the Spanish teams play. Don't give them space in the round the box.
It wasn't good to watch, though, Rio. I mean, it was made it a very, very negative tactic.
We said it in here. We could have done without extra time and gone straight to penalties.
But I suppose if they had have come out, they'd
would have
been ripped apart.
Playing to their strength.
Yeah.
We said it before the game that they'd be looking for every set piece to try and punish Spain, because they were aware that Spain were pretty poor on defending set pieces, and they knew they would have to defend in numbers, and they did it very well. Not pretty, no.
Listen,
they did it very well.
They had a 39-year-old playing centre-half in the middle of that defence, so you have to be organised. You have to have people around to make sure that you don't get him isolated. Once in the extra time, Rodrigo and Aspas come on, got him isolated, breezed past him, but they didn't do it enough.
Rio, the number of times that Spain have come up against teams that are playing this way and beaten them and passed them with sharp passing, with incisive passes through the middle of them. There wasn't enough of that today. They couldn't break them down.
It's not the Spain team that we've seen perhaps in recent times, that's for sure. They didn't even score their own goal.
It was an own goal.
It was an own goal. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
No, listen, we should have tried harder in terms of more incisive passes between the lines. That's why I mentioned the point of playing with 2 holding midfielders against a deep block like this. We play like this at Chelsea, and I know that it's easier for me as a midfielder when I have so many people in front of me instead behind me. When you have people behind you, you need to be looking around all the time. You know, if you have to track back, if you have to look around, if defenders are coming up to support you, so you know, it's more difficult.
Oh, well, what would the reaction be like in Spain to this way of losing and the fact they couldn't break anyone down and the whole Lopetegui thing? Will there be some kind of
There was a lot of hope
thing
in this generation,
Yeah.
in this generation of Iscos, Thiagos, Aspas. You know, everyone was expecting at least semis, final, you know, and so everyone will be disappointed for sure.
It's the way that they play football, the possession-based football, they've been so successful in recent years. So you have to kind of say, listen, okay, respect to the way that this Spanish team play and the ideals of what they do. But there comes a time, like you guys are two centre forwards, when you've got to get the ball into you. Sometimes you've got to play a bit of risk, a bit of hope with a ball at times. After 90 minutes of going side to side, you've got to change it up a little bit, and they just didn't do that enough today. So they got what they deserved, I thought.
We didn't see much of Russia in Spain's penalty area, but one did. Corner came over, PK, a handball.
Yeah. And I thought the referee was very, very good tonight. He got most of the decisions right, and that was a big decision, and that was the right decision as well. He knew he was in trouble, and he puts his arm up to block it there.
Yeah, right decision. Yeah. There's nothing to say about it.
The referee was calm, he's explained, yep, your hand was too high, and PK said to put it up to there. No, you didn't, I'm afraid, Gerard, it was higher than that. And like the penalties in the shootout, Juba didn't fail.
Very confident, very good pen.
He was the coolest man in the stadium today. Every time they've got a goal or big decisions are made, he's just strolling about, little fist pump and chill again. He was fantastic today.
I think they were ready for penalties, and we said beforehand, just before they were going to take the penalties, that it was. I thought it was really interesting that their sub Smolov was one of the first up to take the penalties. So that tells me that they were prepared and they were ready for penalties and they knew who was going to take them.
We've had 3 knockout games. Argentina have fallen, Portugal have fallen, Spain have fallen. This is a strange World Cup.
Yeah. Plus Germany already. I mean, big teams have gone out already. I mean, no one would have guessed that at the beginning.
Yeah, and no one's performing. The big teams that you expect to produce moments are not performing consistently so
France
far.
performed well yesterday. They'd struggled a little
It's
bit.
their first game. It's the
Stage.
first time they've performed. Mbappe was exquisite. He was phenomenal. But it's the first time we've seen them play, and you think, yeah, that's the France that we expected. No one else is doing that yet.
Not yet. 2 more live games to come in the next few days. Tomorrow evening it's Belgium against Japan at 6:30, with Sweden taking on Switzerland on Tuesday afternoon. England, Colombia highlights on Tuesday night as well. And straight after this programme on the red button, there's a football debate show with a...
Sounds like Wimbledon starts tomorrow, 11 a.m. on BBC Two and BBC iPlayer.
Well, Andy Murray's out of Wimbledon before it even started, and I'm sorry, Cesc, but Spain are out of this World Cup. Your feelings is this?
No, as I said, I'm sad. I'm disappointed. I think we could have done more. There's a lot of talent in this team. It's a great team. I mean, you look at the names. You have, for me, the best defense. You have 2 Real Madrid players, 2 Barcelona players. You have Busquets, best midfielder, holding midfielder in the world. You have Iniesta, Silva. You cannot find really better names or better players than this in each position.
But to lose your coach 2 days before the final, I'm sorry, that has to have an effect.
It hurts. It hurts. As a professional, I'm sure if I was in this situation, it must confuse you. That's 100% sure.
When we watched Spain play Portugal in the first game, we said it would be interesting to see what would happen with Costa, to see it at times if they would go a little bit more direct, and they did it in that game.
Yeah.
They never did that today, did they? I know there wasn't a lot of space in behind, but at least if you go long, it just gives something extra. And it was plan A, and plan A never worked, and they didn't try anything else.
I think you have to give credit to this Russian team, though. The way their manager set them up,
Resilient, that's for sure.
Resilient. They were compact. They set pieces. They played to their strengths. They didn't deviate from that, and you have to respect that. It wasn't a beautiful game. We want to sit here and watch the beautiful game, skills and end product, etc. But they done what needed to be done for the quality of player that they had.
Yeah. for Russia, it's a magnificent performance.
It
really
is. From, as I said, there wasn't any great hope on this team to achieve anything. They've got to a quarter-final and they deserve it. Whether it was pretty or not, they're there and they deserve it.
Well, we're out of time. Thanks, Alan Rio. Cesc, it's been a pleasure. I'm sorry I had to end that way, but we enjoyed your company, that's for sure. Ultimately, Akinfeev wins it for the host nation from Russia with glove.